that actually works, where you can look up the budgets of all these different agencies and entities within the state and just interact with an AI that can pull it up for you. You want to know what a sheriff's department's spending? You want to know what your county's doing? Easy to find.
All right. Mark, Joe, go ahead and ask Mark. So we're going to do Mark, Ryan, and Tim on this round.
Very good. California's homeless crisis is one of the worst in the country. What would be your solution as governor to fix this ongoing crisis?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. California's homelessness crisis is one of the worst in the country. What would be your solution as governor to fix this ongoing crisis?
First of all, as governor, I will provide proactive, aggressive leadership. The homeless problem in California is so out of hand is because we have counties and cities working individually. Nobody's working together. What we need is a macro plan. We need to interact with the legal system in the city of Los Angeles and other cities that have collected taxpayers' money through initiatives on the ballot. They've misused the funds, and we spent what? Close to $15, $20 billion, $22 billion, and the problem has gotten nothing but worse. That is the absence of leadership. What we need is facilities, 3, 4, 5 throughout the state of California. Those facilities need to be run by the institutions, the private institutions that have done this for years successfully, like the Los Angeles Mission. They've been successful, period. They have restored lives. Why is government trying to do this? We can't do it. We cannot do it. It's not our job. It is not the job of the state legislature, the governor's office, the Senate, to manage how people live and don't live. That is not our job. We are a macro thinking organization. Homelessness is a micro problem, and we need micro solutions. And those solutions are going to come from the organizations that have already had a 10, 15, 20-year proven track record. Why are they not involved? That is the tragedy. That's a bigger tragedy than homelessness. Homelessness, 60%, 70% is about mental illness. We know that to be a fact.
So my role as a police officer, I got to work in the quality of life unit for about 2 years, which specifically dealt with the homeless. And in my first 3 months, I was like, hey, I'm going to go into this role and I'm going to make sure that we don't have a homeless person on the street. Well, guess what? 3 months later, we still have more. I started realizing that the $22 billion that was spent by California to combat homelessness was all fraud. It was all the money that went by the wayside. Nobody knew where the money was going. What people were doing is they were starting homeless organizations to fight homelessness, but yet nobody actually got that money out of it to where it went. So what we have to do first and foremost is we have to get rid of all of the unnecessary spending that's going towards homelessness. The other thing that we have to do is we have to identify what actually causes homelessness in the first place. One of the top reasons is mental illness. But what causes mental illness? Drug addiction. How do we get rid of drug addiction? Is by being tough on crime again. We have to go back on being tough on crime. We have to make it unacceptable for people to utilize drugs, especially in a public place. And when you start curbing the drug problem, you start to curb the mental illness problem. The other thing that we have to do is we have to improve our economy. Our economy is in shambles, and because it's in shambles, people start resorting to utilizing drugs, and people start getting into domestic violence issues in the house, which makes people become more homeless. So as governor, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we get to the root of the problem, and we start addressing those issues specifically, one by one. Second thing is I'm going to put a position, a team that goes out to audit anybody that has an organization specifically on dealing with the homeless. It's sad that we spent $22 billion, but yet we have 30,000 more homeless individuals on our street. So the only way we can get over that is by combating that with audits. And last but not least, we have to make sure that we can develop an aggressive plan and start going against these big corporations that are doing things in the name of homelessness, but yet we still are contributing to more homeless on our streets. Thank you again.
Yeah. Hey guys. So in 2018, I actually was homeless. And when I became homeless, I had a warehouse full of construction materials. And what I would do, I would build little mobile homes with wheels, and I'd push them to everybody. And I was like, yeah, I'm solving homeless. And then I'd go check up on them the next day, and they were shooting heroin inside of it. And I was like, oh man, I just gave them a place to be comfortable to get high. And then I was like, okay, so if this isn't going to work, we've got to come up with a radical plan. So I developed a plan in 2022, and I gave it to the mayor of San Bernardino, the mayor of Redlands, and the mayor of Banning, and they told me my plan was too radical. And what it was basically you have a team of people that go and you pull the people out that just made a couple bad decisions, that just got stuck, and now everybody in society looks down upon them, and it's hard for them to get out because they stink and they don't want to get, people don't want to hire them and all that stuff. So you get them out of there. And then second thing you do, you set up a perimeter, and you set up beds and cots, and you turn it into a mental health wellness program where they go and they stay there. You get them yoga practice and all kinds of nutrition. You start healing them. And since it's a mental health issue, I used to work for AMR, and if a person couldn't give us a specific answers to questions, you could deem them as 5150 and take them in and do whatever. So first of all, you got to get the ones out and get them help that want to get help. And then second of all, you got to set up a perimeter and put them in a space, because you can't have no drugs come in there. Because if you have drugs come in, it's going to continue to get worse. So when I would see them shooting up heroin in these houses, I would just observe everything, and then the drug dealers come around on bicycles, give them their dope, and I was like, oh, okay, that's how you guys work, okay. See, that's what I'm saying. You guys need somebody with experience, somebody that has been in the trenches and has seen everything. I know how it all works.
All right, thank you, Tim. Group, so we're going to stay down here. Tim, Ryan, and Mark. Tim, you'll start us off. Agnes, go ahead and ask the question.
According to the
According to the California Department of Water Resources, 40% of our state is currently experiencing drought-like conditions. As governor, could you please explain or outline your plans to improve California water crisis?
Tim, you're starting.
That's a good question, thank you. To be honest, I don't know too much about this subject right now, but I will when you guys before you elect me and we start doing some more of the stuff. But what I can say is this. California does prohibit people from collecting rainwater. And when I was a kid in school, they were saying, don't collect the rainwater because it's acid rain and stuff like that. I never knew what they meant. And now you see in the skies that they are seeding the clouds, doing weather manipulation and stuff like that. And then if you live where I live in Yucaipa and Mentone, you look at all the fruit, you see like little black pits on all of the fruit. So it makes me wonder, it makes me think like, okay, are they deliberately getting rid of the water because it's not good for us? They don't really have capacity to filter it, so it's safe to drink. Because if you think about what's going in the sky, it's going in, they're seeding above the clouds when it's raining, so it's going into the rainwater, it's going into everything. So before I say, hey, this is my plan, I want to know if the water is safe to drink. Is there a reason why they're letting it all out? I don't know those answers. So before I say, hey, this is going to be my plan, I want to have all the facts first before I say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Because that's how my mind works. I get all the data, I compute everything, I put it all together, I get the right people, and then we make a plan and then we execute it.
Is that Don or not? Just making sure. So, yes. You guys have your phone, put your phones on silent while other people are speaking. Thank you. All right, so Ryan, you're next.
Yeah, so California doesn't have a drought problem. We have a water storage problem. They've always said that. It's been the same for years. We don't have a water problem. We have a water storage issue. And what we have to do is we have to start diverting some of the resources in order to combat